Greetings everyone, Lumberg here. I have a quick toolkit introduction. This is an update to things that I've done before. So this is basically a summary of a merger status, which nations are merged, which nations are not, locked status, and then the matching for global conquest. So it will be your reference of finding out, hey, am I fighting a locked nation? Am I not fighting a locked nation? When do I think I'll get merged if I haven't gotten it? And just a general review of global conquest in general. So there will be no game video footage in this. We're just going to go through this toolkit. It is going to be linked in the description. And if you're not good with spreadsheets, then I could create images or send you this information in Excel. It's really just a handy toolkit for people that have asked for this information. So I wanted to make it publicly available. So I'm just going to go over really quickly how it's organized. So this is similar to what I've done before. It basically has all of the mergers listed based on the announcements from Camel. There is some unannounced ones that I've added in to make the list complete. There really hasn't been any announcements since the October mergers, which was announced in September. So I'm expecting one to be released very soon. If you go to the next tab here, this one is a good view. This one basically shows you all of the status of who is locked, who is not locked, and it really shows you the picture of kind of what is the strengths in the individual worlds by globes. And you can see that, I've done this before, and I just wanted to send a quick update. You can see that there's about 1/3 of the nations are basically, it's like a set criteria, 2 unlocked worlds, and then 1 new locked world is basically released, and you can kind of see it here. Next is a summary of global conquest. This is just, what are the different groups? A couple of changes happened. They made global conquest easier to qualify into the semifinals because the groups are smaller. So there's 22 a group, and there's 16 different groups. So a lot of worlds now, and everybody can qualify except 4. So 16 move on. So you'll probably be paying the same opponents a couple of times. And then in similar to what I've done before, individual for each of the matching of these 20 group teams, you will see that there is essentially, I've predicted so I've verified. So if it's in green, it means that I've verified that, yep, the algorithm works of the matching prediction. And then this is going to be your round 3 opponents. So if we used as an example and looked at 285, which is my world, we think that our matching will be, for round 3 will be basically 255, 274, and 300. I'm about 80 to 85% sure that this is going to be accurate just based on kind of predicting what I've done before. And this logic really follows through in almost all of them that I was able to verify. So if it's in green, that means I've been able to verify it. So if you can find your nation here. This one is in red because really the algorithm did not follow the logic and something is off. They really tweaked everything in this world from 183 to 249. So the prediction for the next round really is going to be pretty low. So just take this world with a grain of salt. I've put it in red so that you don't rely on it too much. But if you wanted to kind of cycle through and look at, find your world, think who your opponent is, and help you plan for that next round. Also in each of these tabs, you can see who they merge with, when they merge with in your battle preparations. If you keep scrolling through, in here, starting at about world 440, you can see here I've put in red the worlds that are locked and merged. So those are our infamous locked nations. And then if you keep kind of going down the list, I've shown where those locked nations. I wanted to point out something that's interesting here. There was two non-locked kind of out of sequence mergers that happened in August, 525 and I think 495. And if you look at these worlds, 525 is an interesting one. I was curious as to what happened. They didn't really do too well. They're ranked number 12, and it's a merged nation, but really they haven't done as well as either of the locked nations or some of the unmerged nations. So that one was curious. So if you're in 525 and know what happened to that world, why did it kind of die out, and why it's not performing well in global conquest, I am curious. Here it becomes really evident in this world that the 1 through 4 ranks, of course, is going to be all of the merged and locked nations, 535, 528, 526, 520. And you can kind of see a pattern here. So I validated all the results for round 1 and 2 up to world 540. Starting in about 547 to 554, I just don't have enough spy accounts, and I don't have the time to create that many spy accounts since there's 16 different groups. So the ones that are in green I've verified, and I think I've done a test. If the logic holds true, then you can rely on this. But here, your reliability on who your opponent is going to be reduced a little bit. So find your world, find this toolkit, see where the merger status is, look at your points. I've kind of updated for every single world. And then, in the later worlds here, I wanted to point out, you can see the last merged nation, I believe, is 635. So the good news is that Camel hasn't done any more unannounced secret mergers. I couldn't find any. I really like this exercise because it allows me to kind of really look at the data, look at how they're matching it, and then see if there's anything missing or something. Are there worlds that disappeared from the map, and that's how you find out about secret mergers or unannounced mergers. It looks like they've gotten their act together and they're really not creating any more unannounced mergers. And you can see some parity actually, when you look at this globe here, when you look at the locked, non-locked, they're really close, and those last 4 nations to qualify will have a tough time, and it'll be a good battle in that third preliminary. What's also interesting is that if you placed probably second in any of your preliminary first or second match, you probably will qualify to the round of 16. So you don't really need to waste a lot of items. So save those items. You can see here that winning second place, so third and fourth, you get 5 points. So that really doesn't help much, winning third, unless you accumulate the points. But winning that 7 points when you get second place. So try to see if you can really focus on winning at least second place, and you should be able to make it. Here you can see an interesting thing is that, and I've listed which ones are locked or unlocked, and you can see different performances, just like unlocked nations. For the locked nations, some are stronger than others, some don't care, some maybe this is not their strategy to do well in global. And remember, you can almost beat anyone in global with spending items and organization. This is one of the most fun events. The only exception would probably be this world, where I would say it's not even worth you trying. If you look at, I would say this one here, you have the merged lock nations in 520 to 546 against unmerged. There's just no contest, and you can see it in the scores. You can see that the ones ranked the highest are these locked worlds. So there's some unfairness in worlds like these, where these are probably the first time that these nations have gotten global conquest. So there's a learning curve, but this is pretty even match, and it'll be fun to see. What's interesting is that these locked nations, they perform just as well as unlocked nations. So there really isn't a rationale for them to get a merger sooner than locked ones. And it's kind of evident here in the data. So this is a good exercise and a toolkit for you guys to kind of reference. That's all I have for an update today. Hope you find this useful. I'm just going to show you in the last thing that if you wanted to, make changes or just keep a copy, if you go into here, click on the 3 dots here at the top right corner, and then if you go into share and export, you can basically save as an Excel, make a copy, and then once you make a copy, you have rights to it as a Google spreadsheet, and do whatever you want. If you need an image, just let me know. This is designed as a reference point that I periodically will update, and it's just there to help you plan and coordinate. Thanks, everyone. Sorry for the nerdiness of this video, but I thought I'd just make this publicly available so everybody can plan and perform evenly. Good luck in Global Conquest. Good luck in Frenzy. I will talk to you guys soon.